Welcome to Savage Kitchen. Today is all about the toddy. I love a hot toddy. The hot toddy has been around forever. Some people claim it originated in Scotland, other people claim it originated in India. There's evidence of the toddy dating all the way back to the 1500s. Personally, I don't really care how we got here. I'm just happy we're here. A hot toddy is essentially hot water or tea or sometimes even juice mixed with spirit and sugar. So today we are going to do two things. One, I'm going to show you how to set up a toddy table for entertaining. And two, I'm going to share with you some of my favorite toddy recipes. Now, if you're impatient, much like me, I'm not throwing any stones here, feel free to skip ahead. There are chapter markers below and you can get to whatever recipe you want. Otherwise, let's go on this journey together. Now, don't be intimidated. I got a lot of stuff on this table. I tend to go just like a little hard when entertaining. None of my friends are complaining. You don't have to be quite this extra about it, or you could be more extra about it. The point is experiment, have fun, use things that you already have, or if you want to go out and buy things for this, by all means. I'll put links below to all my favorite things, but I think a toddy bar is a very easy way to entertain a crowd and have something that's interactive and lets people control their own flavors and amount of spirit that they're consuming. All right, so let's get into what you are going to need. The first bar for entry is hot water, which I know that doesn't sound very daunting. However, when you think about where you're gonna set up your toddy table, that actually might be a concern. I'm using an electric teapot that my friends at Cochinair, which I might be pronouncing that wrong, I deeply apologize if I am, sent me. I love this because as long as I have an outlet nearby, I can plug this in and there's a little meter on the base that lets me control the temperature. So it's not like I'm either boiling or not. I can keep it at 195 degrees if I like. If you don't have something like this, it's okay. A tea kettle that retains heat will be fine, or a dispenser that you might use for coffee, a carafe, would also work. Just make sure that as the evening goes on, there's a supply of hot water available for your guests. Next up, glassware. So I have a lot of glass. Some might say I have a glass buying problem. Don't hear Crate and Barrel complaining. Any glass you use will be fine, so long as it is tempered glass, and don't use like your delicate cocktailware hand-blown glass. We're gonna be putting hot water in this, so it's important that there is a handle that is not touching the liquid so your guests don't burn themselves. And you don't want the heat to be so excessive that your glass shatters. Next up is a selection of teas. Now, me personally, I don't take my toddy with tea. God, this is turning into a tongue twister. I just enjoy hot water, but a lot of people insist that a toddy can only be made with tea. So, and I mean, it's not bad. It's just gonna enhance the flavor and give you other different flavors to choose. So what I like to do is get a variety pack of teas and have that available to guests. Next up, sweeteners. So honey is the obvious choice. We have sticks of honey here to make it a single serving, easy, no mess cleanup. You're just gonna squeeze this into the toddy. But if you wanna play with flavors, and we always wanna play with flavors, you can make your own simple syrups. You can purchase simple syrups, Savage Kitchen provisions, or you can even use maple syrup. Now the sweetener that you choose is going to be where a lot of the flavor comes from in this drink. So having a variety of sweeteners is a lot of fun. But again, if you don't want to be extra, you can simply put out honey and that's enough, seriously. Next up, let's talk spirits. Now, I think when a lot of people think of a toddy, they think whiskey or maybe brandy, but the world of toddies is vast and you can use all kinds of different spirits. So today we're gonna do one with whiskey, one with gin, one with tequila, and then my favorite with bourbon, which I'm sure shocks no one. But if you're doing a toddy table, I would set out a variety of liquors or maybe go nuts and do a tree of alcohol like I have done here. So this is an ornament tree and I found these little fillable ornaments on Amazon. I will put a link below. I love these. So I actually hosted a party recently where I had a couple of these trees out and then they were filled with a variety of spirits and liqueurs, and it was a big mystery as to what you were gonna get, which ended up being a lot of fun. Highly recommend. If you don't want to keep your guests guessing, you could just take a dry erase marker and write on here like tequila, or add like a little gift tag that says what the spirit is. What I like about these is these particular ornaments are 2 ounces. So if you fill them to the halfway point, as I have here, you have an ounce of your spirit, or you could fill it all the way to the top. But this lets your guests control. It's basically pre-measuring out your alcohol for the evening. And then finally, let's talk garnishes. So toddies are fun because, again, that the heat from the drink is going to open up whatever you put in it. So if you're garnishing with herbs or spices or citrus, you're going to smell them even more as you take a sip. So what I've set out here is I have cinnamon, I have anise, I have cloves, we have a variety of citrus wheels, and then also some herbs. I've got rosemary and mint. Oh, I almost forgot. Citrus. So the citrus, just like in any other cocktail, is balancing some of your other flavors. If it were all bourbon, I mean, I'd be happy, but it's not really a cocktail then. So the citrus is adding a little bit of dimension. And in the toddy format, ooh, it's just that warm little pucker, and it's so delicious. So for this particular toddy bar, I have lemon, lime, and orange, and we're gonna use all of them in these drinks. But if you just do lemon, that's totally enough. Let's get into our toddy recipes. Okay, for toddy number 1, we're going to do Jameson. This is the toddy I drink most frequently, and I just want to show you how easy it is to fill up these little ornament balls. Helps if you take the lid off. Okay, so like I said, halfway, woo, is an ounce. Yeah, that's close. So I'm gonna start with my sweetener, squeeze my honey in here, and I like to do honey first because as the hot water goes in, it's gonna hit that honey and help dissolve it. And honestly, for me, I like a sweet toddy, so I might do 2 of these sticks. Then we're gonna take our lemon. I've cut these lemons into quarters for our toddy bar. I like to usually do about half a lemon in my hot toddy. Half a lemon's gonna be close to an ounce of lemon juice. Take our Jameson, and then we're gonna top this with water. So pretty. So leave a little room in the cup so you can do a garnish. I'm just gonna do a lemon wheel right on top. Oh, and I forgot to mention, you should have some spoons because we need a little stir. Probably should have done that before I put the lemon wheel in. Whatever. Yum. If this were for real and I didn't have 3 more toddies in front of me, I would actually do 2 ounces of whatever spirit you're gonna do. But I got 3 more of these and I gotta drive later, so we're just gonna do an ounce for this one. Oh, but it smells so very good. That's delicious. Oh, it's just so comforting, so warming. I am convinced this can help you stave off illness. Not like serious ones, but you know, got a little cold, have a little toddy. Maybe I should just put that other ounce in. Okay, moving on to toddy number 2. Tequila. So I am not the biggest tequila fan. If you've been with me for a while, you know this. I don't hate it. It's just never my go-to spirit. However, in a toddy, I think it's delicious. So tequila pairs really well with flavors of orange and cinnamon. So we are going to make this toddy using cinnamon demerara and orange. Now, if you want it to be a little bit brighter and a little bit more acidic, stick with a lemon. Lemon's gonna work great in this, but I really do wanna accentuate those orange flavors. Actually, in fact, why don't we do this one with tea? So I have this mandarin orange tea, and I think that's gonna go really beautifully with our tequila and our cinnamon. And for this one, since we're gonna do a tea, I want the tea to steep a little bit before we add our sweetener and our citrus. So we're gonna fill our glass up about 2/3. You wanna leave room for the liquid volume of the syrup and the citrus. We're gonna let that hang out for a minute. So now we're gonna add our tequila. Might have tripped myself here. Oh no, that's tequila. Okay. It's a fun game not knowing what's on the tree. Also, if you do this at home, you could just organize it by spirit. Like maybe do like whiskey, tequila, gin, like whatever you want to do. But I kind of like the challenge. Whew, okay. And then we're gonna add about an ounce, I'm not gonna measure, of cinnamon demerara. What did I just say about leaving room for citrus? Really fucked myself there, huh? And let's give this a good stir. Oh my God. That's just stupid. I think for this one, we're going to take an orange peel and stud it with a few cloves. And this is going to give it even more of a really nice warm winter spice flavor. Just gonna let that float on top. Oh my God. For the girl who doesn't really like tequila, damn, this is really good. That's fantastic. Tequila toddy. Wow. That might be a new favorite. I've done this before, but with lemon instead of orange, which is why I was encouraging you to try lemon before, but actually, I think the orange is better. It's mellower. Oh my God, that is delicious. Highly recommend tequila, orange, cinnamon demerara. Joy. Next up, gin. So I know this might not seem like the obvious choice for a toddy, but this is actually wonderful, and it just has different botanical notes because gin is so herbaceous, and we're pairing it with grenadine. Now, the key here is to use really good grenadine. If you're using the roses from the grocery store, don't bother. It's just not good. It doesn't taste anything like grenadine should taste. Either make your own. There's a million recipes online. I think I actually did a video on how to make grenadine a couple years ago. You can buy mine, Savage Kitchen Provisions, links below. Really good grenadine is the key here. So for this one, we are going to start with our sweetener, our grenadine, about an ounce, maybe a little bit more because I genuinely love my grenadine so much. It's tart, it's delicious, it is pomegranate forward, and it's made with real pomegranate juice. Then we're going to use lime juice in this one. This also works with lemon, but the lime and the pomegranate play together really nicely. Take our ornament of gin. At least the gin's easy to identify since it's clear. Stir, stir, stir. And then we're gonna garnish this one with rosemary because A, it's real pretty, and B, I think that this one, those flavors from the gin are robust enough that it can stand up to the intensity of rosemary. So we could either clip this on the side, but I'm just gonna go right in. Oh, wow, that's just really delicious. This is another one. I do think that the toddy format in general can stand up to 2 full ounces of whatever spirit if you are used to consuming cocktails. I get it. I drink cocktails frequently. I typically drink whiskey neat. So to me, I enjoy that alcohol burn. I find different flavors in it. So I want to use 2 ounces of spirit in my toddy. If you're not a big cocktail drinker and you don't like things that are maybe just like a little bit intense, stick with 1 ounce. This is delicious, warming. Oh my God. Do I really have to go somewhere after this? Damn it. Moving on to our final toddy. You may ask, what is the difference between this and the first one? Well, the first one's an Irish whiskey and uses honey and lemon. This, we are using bourbon, and then we are going to use chai syrup. So I most frequently drink the toddy that we started with, but my favorite toddy to drink is this one. This is a toddy, as you know it, simply elevated. You really get those wood, cherry, and vanilla notes from the bourbon. Those warm winter spices from the chai turn this into just like a winter wonderland in your mouth. So let's start with our chai syrup. By the way, this chai syrup is fantastic in all kinds of cocktails. If you bake, it's really good as a cake soak too, or to flavor buttercream. I mean, obviously I like all my syrups. This is probably the one I use most frequently. I love it. And then we're gonna do squeeze a lemon And I would absolutely do 2 ounces of bourbon in this, but again, I have to be responsible today, which is unlike me. By the way, this ornament idea is good for more than just a toddy bar. When I did this a couple weeks ago, I did it with a hot apple cider. What's nice about that is that if you're having company that isn't all adults, or maybe not everybody likes to drink, you still have hot apple cider you can share with people, and then people spike their own. So that way the kiddies don't get drunk. I mean, who doesn't love a drunk toddler though? So for this one, I like to garnish this with some anise, stick of cinnamon, maybe a little lemon wheel. We're just gonna tuck that right in there. If you want to throw herbs in here, the rosemary, the mint would work great. Thyme would be really nice. But I like the simplicity of this. Oh. Merry Christmas. Whew. A little sad I can't sit here and drink all of these, but hopefully this has given you some inspiration. Please experiment. Maybe start with these combinations, but then if there are things that you like, try that. For example, I think spiced rum and maple syrup would be phenomenal together, like really, really, really good. You want to get a little crazy, sambuca and chai syrup, because I think those licorice flavors would be amazing. As always, thank you for joining me. I so appreciate all of the likes, the comments, the subscribes. We have had a ton of growth recently, and it means the world to me. So thank you for tuning in. If you want to purchase Savage Kitchen provisions or anything for my Amazon list, there are links below. There's merch on the website too. And stick around for the next video. I'm sure we'll be doing something absolutely delicious. Cheers, friends.